Hello friends, Namaste, Namaskar. You're watching Investors Time and this is Harvey Reddy. Yes, it has been a little delay in launching the next video, but the good news is that we have actually launched one Telegram channel about 2 months ago, I guess, or 2 or 3 months ago. And whatever recent updates or from my side, if I feel some company is good, I have been updating in that Telegram group directly. And you will find a link in this, maybe up the top or the bottom. You will find the link of the Telegram channel as well, because telling about the company in a Telegram channel and giving a PPT directly is much easier than actually making a video. And I'll show you my Telegram channel as well, and I'll show you maybe I have updated the Q4 FY20 of Affle India, and I have actually requested my people to actually buy Affle company maybe in July, but I have been doing the YouTube video very late. The thing is that I have got married recently, and that's what you can see it here. And so for that reason, I couldn't squeeze time to make a YouTube video. And there is also one more reason why I've actually launched Telegram channel, because it's very easy to actually tell the company directly instead of making a YouTube video, which actually takes about 6 hours or 8 hours of editing and making the video. So for that reason, it has actually made much better. And I do my own intraday trading. I also do investments. So, that has been a good reason for me to start a channel. And in this Affle India, we will do a KYC. We will almost go through the entire fundamental side of this company, and we will also look into the technicals a little bit. And about this company, obviously, it's a global technology company with a leading market position in India and a profitable business model. These all fancy statements given by the company or any research report, they actually looks very fancy, but thing is that we need to have some filter for our own thing, where we can actually filter out what is actually necessary. We have to take the raw data and not these fancy MBA terms. Yeah, and I'm more interested in this whole picture. This has been taken from the direct Q4 of investors presentations, and coming to the business segments. This is into consumer platform and also enterprises platform. And in consumer platform, it actually delivers acquisitions, engagements and transactions business, but it's actually a very good business because it also does a retargeting and also give a push notification so that they can enter into the e-commerce business. And in the revenue terms, it is almost 97%, which we will also see in the future, like maybe after 5 minutes. We will see the revenue segmentations and also how much the profit contribution is happening from these two consumer platforms and enterprises platforms. Yeah. And enterprise platform is nothing but whatever offline businesses are there, they actually push them to launch an online business like an app or on a website. And this contribution is very less, but don't go with the revenue contribution, but it has only 2.8% of revenue contribution. But if you see the profit, it will be almost 20%, which we will see. Just give me 5 minutes for that. It has a global reach, but the good part is that the revenue contribution from the India is exactly 51.4% and from the foreign, which is 48.8%, which makes it a little, it doesn't get that into currency fluctuations and all. And the next part, we will talk about the CPCU business, where CPC is called as cost per click. There is also one more thing called CPM, which says that out of 1,000 impressions, they will give a cost for that. And in this, they usually focus more on the new users, existing users. They also push the offline business. That is what happens. And let me tell you a little thing about this company. If at all, consider that yesterday night you have been talking something in the WhatsApp that you want to buy a mattress. Or maybe you have gone into a Google and you have searched for a product. And when you get into the another platforms like Facebook, or if you go to a Google or a Microsoft Edge, you'll be actually stocked with the same ideas which you have been actually delving in the previous night. So if I was looking for a pillow in the last night, I'm sure if I open any website, I'll be getting a pillow ad from Amazon in a Microsoft Edge or a Google Chrome. And who is this devil? This is also one of those companies which actually stocks, I call it as stalking, or you can call it as like your devil behind you. So it actually sees what you're doing in the mobile, and according to that, it redefines what kind of ads actually has to come in front of you. That is what, a basic idea of what this business is. And the next slides, coming to the overview of the company, the market cap is 5,544 at 2,175 price, and this is this date. And now let me show you when actually the Q4 FY20 has been actually given, and when the Affle business has been given. So this Investors Time is my group. You can actually get this link in my description as well, and then you just copy paste that into the website, which will actually take you to the Telegram. But make sure that you already register in the Telegram app. Alright, let me search now for the Affle. And this I have been actually requesting people to actually buy from almost May, June. But I'll be focusing only on the Quarter 5 FY20, which I have actually provided on 21st/7/20. And this Affle, if at all I open this, and you'll be surprised to see the market cap when I have actually given this to people. So the market cap was 3,886 crores in July, and now you can actually see the market cap has already grown from 3,886 to 5,400, which says that the stock price also has gone up by 30-40% maybe. So now if at all we talk about the EPS, it is generating about 28 rupees of EPS, and book value is 89.88 and face value is 10. So there are chances that the stock could be split or the bonus can be given. So face value of 10 is usually good for the veteran investors who are actually old. But all these parameters are nothing if you can't compare it. And if we have to equate this into valuation terms, the market cap per sales ratio is 15.89, which is costly actually. Stock PE is 77.98, while industry PE is 23, which also says that it is costly. Price to book value stands at 24.19, which is also costly again. The good part with the company is also it doesn't have any pledging, and dividend yield is 0, which is not actually good. But for a growth company, I don't feel like it has to give actually dividend. If it can actually utilize its own cash reserves, and if it can put it in the business or expand its business, it is actually a very good company. So for that reason, if dividend yield is not there, then also I don't mind. I'm not here to actually reap benefits through dividends. I'm not here to actually sit like a duck investing some amount in one company and holding it for 15 years expecting that the dividend will be actually helpful for me, for simple reason that my portfolio size is not huge. I'm not going to invest some 15 lakhs 20 lakhs in this one stock, and so whatever I invest like 70,000 to 1.5 lakh or 2 lakhs, whatever dividend I get, that dividend is actually calculated based on face value of 10 rupees. Even if it gives a 20% or 80%, it is just 2 to 8 rupees out of face value, which is actually not good for me. For that reason, I don't mind in terms of my own portfolio size, and also from the company side, if the management is confident on their own business and if they want to use the cash reserves for their own development in increasing the revenues, and in same thing, if you see eventually if the revenue increases at the same margins as well, the profits increases and EPS also increases. For that reason, I don't mind. And the thing is, debt to equity is actually very less at 0.29, which is actually good. Current ratio is 1.82, and the interest coverage ratio is very beautiful at 47.62. Now we will see the shareholding pattern. The promoters actually hold about 68.4%, and which I don't like much is what mutual funds hold about 11.4 and 13.9 from FIIs and FPIs, which I don't like. If mutual funds are not there, then I'm actually happy, because probably we are getting into a small cap or a mid cap company, and we can see the growth of that, like what happened in BlackRose Limited, so like that, but still fine. So now you can actually pause these things. I really don't get deeper into this. This I have actually given everything so that it actually might be helpful to people who actually wants to search deeper into a company before actually picking the stock. But usually for me, if I like a company, the basic idea that it is a stalker. It just stalks everyone through their mobile, and whatever they are talking, they just look into that, and based on that they give a relevant ads, and that is what I actually liked about this company. Then I saw the price chart, then I actually picked the stock. More than that, I usually don't see fundamentals. I'll see the strength, but I don't deeply delve into it and then find there is any competitor, this thing, that thing. I'm not that I can't make fundamentals so complex. So for me, what I request you is that you just pause these things and you can actually see what I'm giving. But these PPTs will be available in my Telegram channel as well. Yeah. So, and this one thing is important. So if you see, we know that we have been going through the COVID pandemic situations, but trust me of one thing, because of everyone sitting in the home, there is one thing which is for sure, that mobile usage and screen time is actually up in a multi-fold, which is actually good for the company itself. But it also has an e-commerce business, which is actually little impacted for the short term. You can see that Myntra, Flipkart and Amazon have actually opened up. So e-commerce business will also start to. And there is also one more good thing, that the advertisers' demand for ROI driven through CPCU has been actually going up compared to the CPC or CPM models. And it is also looking to gain market share through strategic investments and acquisitions, which we will also see into this thing. So in the next slide, you can see that it has acquired 66.67% in Appnext Singapore. So what it usually does, that enables top mobile OEMs actually from the manufacturer's side and app developers to actually deliver on-device personalized app, which says that it need not go into some particular app like Microsoft Edge or something, but it can actually go to the directly personalized app, and through that it will get recommendations to the mobile users globally. Coming to the balance sheet, you can see the CAGR growth itself. So we will not go into the specific numbers, but if you see the CAGR growth in the last 3 years, revenue CAGR has been 41.3% and EBIT CAGR has been 39.7%. PAT CAGR is about 53.4%. You know that this era is about a digital era. We know that the data is the oil, and this is that company which is actually a data-driven company. Coming to the quarterly interest payments, it's nothing. It's just 1-2 crores, so there's nothing much to see. It's almost debt-free company. And coming about the operating cash flows, it has been growing at a CAGR growth of 32.1%, and by FY 2020 it has a cash flow of 730. It is not free cash flows, it is just free cash flows from operating activity. It is not even net cash flows. Yep. And if we speak about the efficiency of the company, and the debtor days in the 2019 it was almost 70 days, but it has actually reduced to 40.5. It says that the product which this company actually is going to deliver has quite a demand in the market. And about the margins, what I can see in the margins is that first disclaimer is that just because that this company has given only 3 years of data, financial year data. So what I did was only the quarterly data I have just expanded to see what happened in the last 10 to 12 quarters. So you can see that the margins have been actually quite stable. The operating profit margins are almost 25-ish, and net profit margins, there has been a little increment from 17.7% in June 2019 to almost 21% right now. Let's speak about the segments revenue and profit now. We know that it has a consumer revenues, which you can see in the last 3 quarters, September, December and March. My team has been a little busy in the other things, and for that reason I haven't updated the June series, but pardon me for that. But if you see this in the last 3 quarters till March 2020, the revenue contribution has actually grown quite high. If you see a year-on-year comparison, it has grown by 76.5% in September and 48.7% in March 20. So this segment business, which is a consumer business, is actually very good. But if you see the enterprise business, it has been a pretty flat one, but in the last 2 quarters it has actually fallen down. But you can see an increment in the year-on-year by 13.7% in March 20. And if you see the contribution of revenue among these two in 2019 and 2020, it's almost 92% of consumer business, and enterprise business is almost 8.7 to 7.4%. But you'll be surprised to see that in the profit contribution, this actually has a little higher. Let's see a bit also. These are the top resilient verticals, like you can see anything fintech, food tech, FMCG, even in the health tech and the gaming, groceries, and everywhere their ads being delivered. And from these top 10 verticals are actually contributing almost 74% of the revenue for FY 2020. And coming to the EBIT, it has actually fallen down very drastically in March 2020 in the consumers business. But there has been a year-on-year growth of almost 15.8%. And if you see the margins as well, you can see the margins, which is actually orange color. The margins were almost 23-25% till December 2019, which has actually fallen down to 14% in March 20. And if you speak about the enterprise EBIT, what we see here is that this also has fallen in December and March. I seriously don't know the reason, but as long as you know price and you know the technical analysis, you usually don't very much complicate your own fundamental analysis. So for that reason, I usually don't do. Once I feel that the business is good and it can be held for a long time, what I do is you might have heard that fancy statement called as buy at every dip. That is what I usually do. But instead of buying a dip as well, if it goes a little high, I actually book profits as well. Yeah. So we will see the contribution. Now you can see the contribution from the consumer segment has actually increased from 79.7% to almost 6.2% of increment, while the enterprise business has actually fallen down from 20.3 to 13.8, but the revenue contribution is just 7-6%. But now you can see that the profit contribution is actually high, almost 14%. Now we will look into the sales EPS and let us also look into the technicals before actually going into the sales, because that's a favorite of everyone, right? We will start with the weekly or a monthly chart. We'll start with the weekly chart. This is almost at all-time highs, and there is no other reason why this price has been rejected at 2,225 price, and now it is at 2,119. But there has been some times where it was kind of a flag and pole, or call it a consolidation, which happened pretty nicely. And I'm sure if you look into the volume profile, you must be seeing that the stock has been accumulated quite a good. But I'm giving a plain chart. I'm not giving my setup, but I'll start adding some things. The same chart, if I actually do the drawing, what you will be surprised to see is that there has been a little accumulation at every actually pickup. It was not just simple ride. It was doing a flag and pole. If at all you're good at technical analysis, or you might have heard this term, so you might be asking, sir, will there be an accumulation and then it might be going? Yes, if there is an accumulation and if the stock rejects to fall down, then yes, there will be a multi-year breakout. But just don't get greedy, for the simple fact that whoever has bought here or here, they'll be actually doing a booking. So since the profit booking might happen, what I suggest everyone is that right after looking this video, please don't get into the Affle stock right now. But let me tell you one thing for sure, that from almost 1250 or 1300 levels, this stock has been actually given in Telegram. Even I myself am doing in this year, Affle has been my stock. Yeah, Black-Roze is the another one, but Affle is one more stock which has been pretty good. It has almost given 3 times profits. So this stock has been actually pretty much good for me. And I can't tell much about this. You might be asking, sir, let me speak about MACD, RSI or something. But it's simple. Just from the price action, I have told what happened with the stock. But if you really want to talk, what I can suggest you is that everyone just get into the pivots, which actually tells you the key pivot points where huge accumulation and everything will happen. If at all the black color lines are the pivots, and R3, R2 are usually the resistances of that particular month. And you can see there has been we will draw it again. You can see that exactly at the pivot there has been an accumulation. Exactly at the pivot it has been an accumulation. It has gone almost till R3. Then at R2 there has been an accumulation. From the pivot, the stock again started rising till R2. Now maybe R3 will come or not come. I really don't know. I don't really believe much in the divergence. But yes, seeing the thing that it is again reaching the all-time highs, I was happy at booking. So if at all the stock comes down, and if it shows some rejection at the bottom, if at all it is refusing to go down, then I might actually get into the stock again. That is all I can tell you. But follow me in Telegram. Maybe I can help you out. And by the way, I'm going to ship for almost 6 months. I'm from Merchant Navy, so I have my own job. This is just a part-time. This I do only for a helping hand. These videos are actually made with a point in my mind that I can actually teach you what you all have to go through when you get a stock in your hand. When someone says there is TI India, then what all you have to do, this video is that example. So if you get some company, you have to do everything which I am doing. Then only you can actually buy a stock. You should not buy just because CNBC TV 18 or a money control, message group or someone has said. So let us see about the sales EPS, the quarterly sales. If you see the sales in this on a bar chart, it actually shows pretty flat, but it is actually not so. If you see the year-on-year growth from September, it has been almost 30 to 40%. Say like at least 25% on an average of growth is there on a year-on-year basis. Before it was almost 60, 55, but now the limit has actually gone up, and now it is almost 80, 85. So keeping this, if this keeps on continuously increasing, you can do the math. You're seeing just the PE, what the stock could value it in the future. But if you see just the 9 monthly returns as well, it has actually grown by 26.3%. If you count June, March and December as a 9 monthly, then you can also see that there has been an increment. All right. And again, there will be many reasons why it has actually grown and all. I didn't find something which in particular that I can actually tell you. And coming up to the net profits, again, it has been a 42% of increment in just June 2020, but let us not take that. On an average, I can see that it's almost 30% of, say, 20% of on average returns. And on a 9-monthly basis, it has been incremented of almost to 26.2%. Coming to the EPS, just the last 5 quarters, the EPS has been stable. I can't say that it has fallen down from 9 to 6 or 7. Let us say it is stable for the simple reason that every quarter is not same for every business. Some quarters will be very high, some quarters will be very less. If you take Symphony kind of stocks, usually September quarters are dull, but in the summer seasons the stock rises, even the profits rises in the same way. So that is how. But if you see the 9-month comparison, you can say that the March 2020 has been an increment of 27% when you compare with the March 2019. And in this video, let me give you another suggestion, because that is what I do almost in every video. I try to teach you one thing. In one video, I taught about debtor days. So there are some things which I teach. Since we have actually talked about quarterly things, and some quarters are good and some quarters are bad. So any quarter result, whenever it comes, let it be sales or profit, don't look into quarter on quarter comparison. Just look into year on year comparison. And how do you know that there has been a turnaround in a company is, don't take one particular quarter. Some people say that this quarter it has been an increment of 60%, then people jump into it. It is not so. There might be one-time costs as well. So what we can do is that just see like 3 quarters, like see the last 3 quarters of the last year, now this 3 quarters, then you can see if on this as a set, if it has increased or not. If you see as a set of if it has increased, I have a scanner in my end, but I'm not able to do that in any website. I have this idea of finding a turnaround story of a stock from a small cap or a micro cap, but let us see what I can do with that. So in that way, but the key idea of that screener is nothing but you take 3 quarters or 4 quarters, at least minimum 2 quarters as a set. Don't combine it. What I'm saying is look at it as a set, and if you see this as 30, 40, 35 and this you see as 60, 65, 70, then you can say that there has been a stable growth of the company for some reasons. Maybe it could be a brownfield expansion or a greenfield expansion, but for some reason the stock has actually gone up, and then you can say that there has been a turnaround in that company. And instead of 3 quarters, if you can find the stock in the first 2 quarters of the increment in the quarterly results, then you actually get into the stock like Black Rose Industries Limited at 60, 70 price. And you can actually go through the ride entirely with that fancy statement called as buy at every dip. Yeah, so this is all about Haffle India, and I'm glad if you're actually staying for this whole long 16 minutes or 20 minutes of video, because people usually don't do that. What most of the people are doing is that they just sit down in front of the YouTube, they keep on watching one after they keep on watching every video, and end of the day they are actually confused of what stock to buy. Just don't do that. If at all you are learning something in a video, just do that. If someone is doing marketing, then don't do it. Like, some people will say, I have told, then it has risen. You don't do all those things. But if someone is teaching you something, how to do, and if you can learn the process of how to do, then you will be actually contributing to your own wealth, and also you will be contributing to the society as well. So what I suggest is that you watch some video, but you have to do your own due diligence, and then only you can buy the stock. Later, I see many people in the Twitter or the Facebook or in the Telegram, boasting the other people, or, shitting other people, saying that, you told me to buy the stock, I bought it, and now the stock has fallen down. We can't actually blame other people. All we can do is that we can put a stock in front of you. What I do in my video is that I'll keep the entire information as a platter in front of you, and it is up to you if you have to pick the stock or not. Because what we can do is that we can insist, we can suggest you, but the decision is in your hands. So for that reason, do your due diligence, and if at all you like this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to share with your friends, and if at all possible, you can even join my Telegram group. And thank you. And if at all you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. Yeah, see you, bye, take care, and happy investing, stay healthy.